Sometimes I ask people that, what are you willing to give up for truth? If you really want to know the truth, what are you willing to sacrifice for that? And people usually say, oh, I'm willing to give up my life for truth. I'm willing to give up this or that for truth. But I say only one simple thing. I'm asking you to give up your notion of right doing and wrong doing. Can you give up that? And usually it is that which is the most challenging to give away, because we live in a polarized world. And this world has been made even more polarized because of the excessive exposure to social media and opinions from every nook and corner. We are heavily polarized as a society, and we have built such strong notions of right and wrong. We want to cling on to one side, and that is where the whole suffering happens. You know, Rumi said that out there beyond right doings and wrong doings, there is a field. I'll meet you there. And even the spiritual teacher and mystic Joel S. Goldsmith said the same thing. He said that give up in the two powers of right and wrong, and you will know the truth. It is this whole idea that I know what is right and what is wrong. Based on this, we have designed the entire social, moral fabric. And we are constantly evaluating people based on their actions. We are constantly judging them. We are constantly critiquing them. We are very keen to tell people how wrong they are and how right I am. To claim that I am right and I know what's best for you is interference in God's work. But to simply offer your presence to another and listen to them is the greatest act of compassion. Because every right and wrong is relative. I'm not asking people to completely abandon their ideas. You can certainly have your own moral compass and follow your own definitions of what is good for you and what is not good for you. But to dictate the same for others, to force others to accept your ideas of righteousness and wrongdoings, that becomes doership. Because every right and wrong is relative. And also, there are things which change with time. There were many things that happened in the past which were considered right, but in today's day and age, they hold no relevance. But people back then were convinced that they were right, and they waged wars based on that thinking. They unleashed destruction on humanity based on those ideas. And even today that is happening. Today also we have wars based on personal ideas of what is right and what is wrong. So you see the split of duality between right and wrong. This strengthens the identifications, the sense of separate self. It invokes fear. And operating from that level of fear is completely moving away from love, from compassion. Because I am constantly worried about my safety, I want my security. I am seeking that security based on my ideas, based on my beliefs. So I see that a group believes in certain ideas and says that this is the right idea, and it gives me comfort, security to conform to that idea. So I immediately become a part of that. But then the conflict happens, because what is right for me may not be right for you. That is where the conflict happens, because then I start asserting my own views on you. Then I want you to understand me, believe me, accept my ideas. And I try all possible ways to convince you that I am right and you are wrong, which is doership, which is interference in God's work. Because only the source, the God, knows what is right and what is wrong. The moment this sense of separate self or the ego starts claiming that it knows what is right and wrong, that is where it experiences suffering. You can only act based on your present knowledge. Whatever knowledge you have right now, based on whatever conditioning you have received in the past, you can act on that. That's all. And acting on that is not a problem. That's not doership. The doership comes when the ego comes up through the back door saying that you shouldn't have done this because this is not right. You should not have done that. That is not right. That is how the mind splits itself into more and more fragments. It starts with duality and ends up in multiplicity. Every form of division, whether it is based on religion, whether it is based on organization or any social structure or anything, will inevitably breed conflict. So truth cannot be known in division. To know the truth, you have to abandon your ideas of right doing and wrong doings. And once you do that, you are in a completely different space of awareness, a completely unimaginable dimension of restfulness and calm and bliss, where these dualistic concepts, even if they are there, do not disrupt your peace. So truth, in essence, is your very nature. It is the peace that you have always longed for. But the problem is that you are searching for that peace through your personal beliefs of right and wrong. So give up in these two powers and see what happens. It may feel as if that doing that will break down the whole structure. It's not going to break down anything other than your sense of separate self. All it will break down is your limited belief in your individuality. But it will open up the whole universe. Don't try to know truth through concepts. Be the truth.